Ladies and gentlemen.
Our parent just recently received a fantastic update to make it even easier for parents to support their child's device that comes home at the end of the day. Now, this is talking about managed devices that the school has within their management, but the child gets to use this at home beyond the school day. And our parent provides those parents or carers with the additional tools to be able to streamline what the device has access to when it's in that home environment. So let's jump in and take a look at some of those updates and a bit of an overview of what the app can do in general. Now, the first thing to highlight is there is a really simple way to attach your device to the child's device using the app within Jamf Parent and the Jamf Student app on the child's device. So on the child's device, I can go into the student application, I can choose the child's name, and you'll see there's an opportunity here to authorize parent. That will bring a QR code up on the screen. On the parent's device, they tap on add child, QR reader comes up, scan code, and they're into that as well. So really, really simple and effective way to join those classes. There are some other options to do this as well. You can do this by creating accounts for parents as well. Choice is yours as schools, as how you want to do that. But the process is we want to make sure that parents have access to their child's device to be able to support them when they're at home. So let's take a look at how this actually functions. If I choose my child on my parent device, you'll see I've got some options here. Now, this is one of the updates, so if you've been using Jamf Parent before or you've seen it in action before, there are some slight changes here. Some of the terminology slightly changed, but also just that ease of access into what you want to get set up for your child. Let's take a look at allowed apps, for example. If I tap on allowed apps, no surprises here. It's going to allow me to take control of some of the applications on the device. Enable app lock allows me to choose the length of time that I want to set this app lock for and choose the apps that I want to have on the device. So let's say child is doing some homework. Maybe let's say we're going to allow them to use Safari, Notes, Camera, other apps that they might want to use if it's part of their homework, maybe iCloud Drive or Files. And then when I tap done, that's going to send that message then to that child's device. And on the child's device, you'll see that all of those apps have been stripped away, only leaving the apps that they should have access to as part of their learning. At any point, I can then tap on disable, app lock, and that brings back the device to its full setting. So from a parent's point of view, really, really simple and easy way to just manage whether it's homework time or social time or bedtime routines, whatever it is you want to do. The second one on here is restricting device functionality. I may want them to have full access to the device, but there may be some certain things I want to switch off. So, for example, turn off messages, FaceTime, if the school has allowed that in the first instance, because obviously these are school-owned devices in this instance. But you might want to turn off the camera, for example. So again, I can just simply choose the camera as a tool I want to switch off. And that's now turned that off on the device. You hopefully saw the camera disappearing, or if I add that back in, the camera will pop back up on the device. So again, fine, granular controls, giving parents that kind of ownership of those different elements. Now, an update that came in just recently is around websites. So we've had allowing apps for some time within Jamf Parent. Websites is a new addition to give parents that additional customization of whether they want to allow certain websites, to be available at any point, or also to block certain websites. So this is content filtering for parents that may support parents at home with, again, focused use of devices at specific time. You'll see at this point I've got website filtering switched on. This is now showing an allowed list, but I also have the opportunity to add in specific websites that I want blocked. So again, you may want to add these in if children are using the device inappropriately. You can choose which ones you want to block, or you can choose those ones that you want to allow. Allow, for example, a nice setup if you just want to have content filtering on for homework time so that they're focused. School may provide a list of really, really useful revision websites. You could add them all in here, and then during their revision time on their device at home, turn on website filtering. They're the only websites that child is allowed to access. So again, how parents use it is completely up to them in terms of their own space, but you're giving them the tools to be able to do that. The next one then is device rules. And under device rules, you'll see in here, I've got 3 examples that you could have. This basically is a one tap way of putting those rules in place on the device. So rather than having to choose all of the different applications, you just choose this as a preset arrangement and then deploy it. So if I go into create device rules, I'm going to choose the ad hoc one and just choose a custom one. And you'll see that I can choose which apps I might want to add into this. So I'm just going to randomly choose some applications that I might want to have on this device. There we go, that'll do. I give that a name, and then I can. It's going to be within that selected device rule of custom. But fundamentally what I've created is this one tap use. So where I've got the one that says maths homework, in my maths homework one, if I go to edit, I've already selected which apps I think are going to be useful, because the school may have told me that calculator, their files, measure app, they're all useful things to do. So when I actually deploy that on the device, choose how long, tap start, just a couple of taps from that parent's point of view, and that device has now been restricted down to those apps that I wanted them to have access to. Again, I can stop those at any point. So if I've set it for too long, or the child's finished doing the homework and they want the device back to be full, they have full access to all of those things. So creating those simple device rules is a really quick and simple way. Yes, you've got to do a little bit of setup in the first place, but from then on, you could be sat around the dinner table, child needs to use a device for a specific focus, you just tap on it, tap start, done, that's going to apply it, the child can get on with their learning as they need to, and parents don't need to worry about them being accessing things that potentially they don't need access to. The last one is just device information. It's just going to give you, it's just connected to the device, it just tells you how much storage is left, if it's been charged, etc. Can be useful for lots of parents to be able to say, you know, your device was meant to be charged for school, and how can the parents know that it has been plugged in, or any of those things. So again, useful for parents to use. So that's it, just a brief overview of the things that Jamf Parent can do. Some of those new updates, including those websites, useful for parents to just have that control when and if they need it on that child's device when it comes home.